Herbivore. Good morning. How's everyone doing? Thanks for joining me. Wind Waker, you do indeed win the internet today. You are our first. Amazing. I wish I could win the internet just once. Callum, morning all. Hope everyone is having a lovely morning so far. We hope you're having a lovely morning, Callum. How's things? What's everyone up to today? Sergeant Ankarad is here with Mam and Fudge, and a beautiful use of emojis also, as we've come to expect from young Ankarad. Crystal Nelson, I'm across the pond, so it's midnight. Good morning, such night, everyone. Wow, midnight. So what's that about? So you're West Coast, is it? I'm a bit dippy. I don't know why I try and suss it out. Emmanuel is also here. Good morning to you, sir, or evening. Good morning, afternoon, or evening to everyone in the chat. So how are we all doing? How have we been? What are we up to today? What are we looking forward to? What's the haps? Has anyone got any questions? I can see that I've got some GIMP on me, so we'll get that off. So sorry I was late starting. I scheduled a stream, and I thought I'll make a fast breakfast. I'll make a smoothie, and I put all the ingredients into the smoothie jug, tried to turn it on, and then remembered, oh yes, broken. So I had to start again with I had beans on toast, and I've got a shake as well, which actually I should start drinking my shake as well. Crystal is in Seattle. Where do I know Seattle from? Was Frasier, was that set in Seattle? Callum, all good, thank you. Just finished my morning gym routine. Nice. I think my legs are about to fall off. Very good. Well done on the challenge. Brilliant content. Thank you. Yeah, we really enjoyed making that video. I mean, it's not doing all that well in the algorithm. That's why I sit on about 1200. I think it's a bit too long to do very well. And I think the fact that I do so many different types of video, if I was purely a recipe channel, maybe like those types of videos could do a lot better. I don't know. Oh, 1.7. Oh, it's got a few views now. That's something. But yeah, that was a really fun video to make. Yeah, like I said, a bit on the longer side in terms of video length. But in terms of editing, that needed hardly any editing, so that took next to no time. So yeah, that was quite nice in that respect. Stacey Langley, General Langley, morning to you. How are you, my lovely? I'm very good. I've got a slight shoulder impingement. I had it before I did my shoulder training yesterday. I really probably shouldn't have done it, but you know me, I'm trying to make some gains. The only thing that seemed right out was front raises. That seems to be nipping, so I left the front raises out. That's a little disappointing, but hopefully it won't affect the rest of my body parts. So hopefully we'll have a good chest session on Monday. Emmanuel, have you seen Dr. Mike's video on his blood work? He started eating more plant-based. Yeah, I saw that. I saw Happy Healthy Vegan, Ryan. I saw his take on it. Yeah, I saw it when it came out, and I thought, do I do a response? And I don't know, it just seemed like the same old thing. I think the last time I did a Dr. Mike video, it didn't do terribly well. I'm trying to find some videos that may go a bit more viral in the algorithms, but yeah, he's including a bit more plants now, isn't he? So that's something, I suppose. Where's my last Dr. Mike video? Can't remember what the thumbnail looked like. Should I type Dr. Mike into the search? That'd probably be the quickest way, wouldn't it? Search on my channel. So, do you know what I mean? Oh, that got 19k views, and that was only a year ago. Oh, maybe I should do a response then. Let me make a note of that. I need to make a video today anyway, so I might perhaps do a Dr. Mike response. Right. Yeah, so he had Dr. Danielle Bilardo. She's a plant-based cardiologist. He didn't really take it all in, did he? She was saying the only thing to really be concerned of is serum LDL, and he reckoned he didn't have his LDL tested, but he had his total, and no, the total's gone down, so that must mean the LDL's doing well. And it probably means that, but not necessarily. Like that's the basic main thing. I've not heard of a lipid panel where you don't test. So I wonder whether he had it done and it wasn't as good as he wanted, so he's hiding it. He certainly didn't show his blood work on the screen, which is a massive red flag. Like, why would you not? It's no transparency, is there? And his cholesterol certainly has not gone low enough to the point where he wouldn't be laying down atherosclerosis. So I felt like she could have gone in a little bit harder, and promoted the plant-based diet like a bit heavier. And really talked in terms of like, you really want your serum LDL below 70 milligrams per deciliter, which is not like the mainstream thinking. But mainstream thinking leads to a society where 1 in 2 people have cardiovascular issues and 1 in 3 die of heart disease, coronary artery disease. So the Bleezy is in the house from Australia. I love coming on in the mornings because Australians are my 3rd biggest following. So thank you for following and thank you for joining. How's the vegan scene? Where in Australia are you? How's the vegan scene there? And how are you doing? And thanks for joining. Callum, what's your opinion on Abby Sharp? I think she's a little bit not so clever as she thinks she is. Critical of him not using oil. There you go. What a simpleton. The trouble is, things like extra virgin olive oil does make a diet appear better relative to like the crap that most people eat. But what we haven't got is whole foods plant-based versus whole food plant-based plus oil. And I think we can safely infer that it's not going to be as healthful. Healthy, is a comparative to like healthy compared to what? Like, it's no good just saying, is this healthy or not? Is it healthy or not? Relative to deep fried bacon? Yeah, it's a lot healthier. Is it healthy relative to like legumes, whole grains, fruits and vegetables? Is it hell? It's got a fraction of the nutrition. It's got no fiber. It does several negatives in the body. Yeah, I mean, there's a little polyphenols. There's a little fat-soluble nutrients like vitamin E. Most of the nutrition's gone down the drain with the water that they got out of the olives from the pressing. So, that just shows you her level of knowledge. TJB, have you ever heard of the effects of negative ions and the Leonard effect? I don't know if I've heard of the Leonard effect years ago and forgotten about it. It sounds like it might be familiar. I wouldn't bet money on it though. Negative ions. So, for instance, like grounding, like the earth gives off negative ions. And so if we're not insulated from the earth with like rubber-soled shoes on, like say we're barefoot, like the best way to be connected to the earth and get these negative ions would be to be in water, to be in the sea or something like that. We did have grounding sheets. 2 or 3 times we bought grounding sheets, and these are sheets that go on the bottom of the bed, and they have silver fibers like running throughout, which plug into the earth terminal of your mains. So it's like you're laying on the ground, and you're getting the again the negative ions. supposedly they act as antioxidants because that's what antioxidants do. Free radicals scavenge negative ions from like healthy cells. So this is supposedly is a way of buffering it. I don't know how, that's what these people claim, trying to sell you their grounding sheets. Whether there's been peer-reviewed science on that and it actually works as antioxidants in the body as it does from food, I don't know. I can certainly tell you that the first night we used it, I dreamt that I was floating on the Dead Sea, that I was like weightless, and I had the most restful night's sleep. It was beautiful. So, I think there's something to it. But yeah, tell me about Leonard. Amit, are there TVP products that contain a complete essential amino acid profile? There are none that don't. There are also no whole plant foods that don't contain a complete essential amino acid profile. Even lemons contain all essential amino acids. This is a big misnomer from probably from meat industry propaganda. So if you have a look on Chronometer, don't know how well you can see that. Can I? Maybe I can zoom in. So, oh, come on. These are all plans that I wrote for other people when I was working as a nutritionist all the time. That's so much work. Add food. So say lemons, for instance. I mean, you would have to eat a lot of lemons. Is juice going to have them in? You wouldn't think so, would you? You'd think you want whole lemons. How do I do that? I mean, no one's going to eat whole lemons, are they, really? Well, I don't know. Whole lemons? Oh, I don't know. Let's just say oranges. Raw oranges. Say like you managed to eat a kilo of raw oranges. So here's the amino acid profile. So there's 9.4 grams of protein in a kilo of oranges. Here's your essential amino acids. They're all there. No whole plant food doesn't have a full contingent of essential amino acids. TVP would be particularly good because it comes from a legume, so it's going to be much higher in essential amino acids. But yeah, they all whole plant foods, and I would imagine all textured vegetable protein, because you're just like taking out the other stuff from the bean and you're keeping the protein, so they're all going to have all the essential aminos because they are a whole plant food. So there you go. Boom. Great question. Stacey, I'm good, thanks. 5 days off after work today. Woohoo! Lovely. Oh, look at all my twins there. My triplets. Why is there only 3 of us? Oh, there's another one. Shall we wait and get a few more? No, that's doing me in. I feel like I'm tripping. Oh, yeah, are sugar-free drinks on the weight cut good? Well, it's good not to drink your calories because it's so easy to drink calories. They're in your tummy for a short time and then they empty and then, like, it's gone. So you could drink calories all day and feel like you've not had any... I mean, if you weren't eating anything, but you could have many times the calories that you needed without feeling, you could be hungry all day because you never ate anything. So I don't recommend drinking calories, particularly on a diet, but like sugar-free ones, if you mean water or like green tea or hibiscus tea with no sugar added, or just plain water, yeah, brilliant. If you mean artificial nonsense with like aspartame and all these like weird nonsense chemicals, like half of which you can't pronounce, good from the perspective of fat loss, likely Well, they are going to be bad from the perspective of optimizing your health because they're going to have negative effects, like putting chemicals into the body. So it depends which ones. Ghost face killer. It's my man from the Wu-Tang Clan. Favorite James Bond movie? Oh, I don't know. I used to love Bond movies. I always have, really. I grew up. Roger Moore, I always thought was the best James Bond back in the day because he was the one I knew, as I was growing up as a kid. But I think I like the more gritty, rather than all the sort of silly, like tongue-in-cheek stuff and all the sort of quite sexist like aspect of it all. So I quite like Daniel Craig actually. I can't really remember. I wouldn't really know which one was my favourite. I can't really remember now. Yeah. Pass. One with Daniel Craig. Craig Daniels. Which way is it? No, it's Daniel Craig. Double guessed myself. I heard the latest one is really good, so maybe I should see that. Maybe that'll be my favourite one. Abby Not So Sharp. Well said, angry vegan. Bleezy. Sunshine Coast, Queensland. Wow. Only been vegan for 3 or 4 months. Okay. Did it at the same time as my partner and I've never felt better. Nice. I've also put on 4 keys of muscle, proving my mate strong. Good for you. That's what we need. More strong vegans. Ghostface. Yesterday I passed 4 kidney stones. Ouch. Always make sure to drink a litre of water. Do you know any reason why I got kidney stones? How to avoid getting them again? Worst pain ever. I think there's different types of kidney stones. I think oxalates can cause them. I think low magnesium in the diet can cause kidney stones as well. I'm no expert, but those are a couple of possibilities that I believe are correct. So I'd go on that Chronometer app, which I showed you. So oxalates, don't eat more than about a serving of spinach, chard, beet greens, rhubarb or starfruit, carambola. Only eat 1 serving of any one of those of a given day so that you're not going too high in oxalates, because that would be like a potential. And plug your foods into Chronometer, as you can see here, Chronometer, Chronometer app. Add food, plug your foods in. And, make sure you're getting all your nutrients. Choline, I don't think we need 500 milligrams, so I'm happy with just 300 there, but you do you. But, magnesium. So you can see here, oats, quinoa, tomato, spinach, sweet potato, lentils, kidney beans, kale, sunflower seeds, and flax seeds were all very good contributors towards this person's magnesium when I wrote their plan for them back in 2018. There may be there's other risk factors for kidney stones. Not really sure what they all are, to be honest, but that's a couple of them that I'm aware of. Hang on, why did I miss? Sorry, Emmanuel. My mum is growing some edible flowers. I tried some yesterday. Do you know any nutritional facts about edible flowers? Mainly that they're very high in antioxidants typically because the colours are the antioxidants. So hibiscus tea is the most antioxidant rich tea in the world. And it's from the petals. The bright red colour is from the petals, and the colour is the antioxidants. So if they're colourful, they'll have lots of antioxidants. Other than that, I couldn't tell you a whole lot. They're not going to have much in the way of calories and things. But no doubt they've got unique nutrients that you don't get from other parts of a plant. And humans, historically, are about the only primates that don't eat flowers regularly as part of their diet. Like most primates eat flowers regularly. And I don't know if you're aware of Coco the gorilla. So reputedly, she could sign about 1,000 different words. And she didn't have a word for... what was it? She basically... She she basically called, so she was given rose petals as part of her diet. And she called it, she signed that it was her pretty food. Yeah, pretty food. I thought that was pretty cool. Crystal, Mike made a video where he claimed that flax oil was a healthy food in contrast to other oils, and as you take algae oil, are omega-3s more acceptable? So there is omega-3 in flax oil. It's the ALA. Of course, the I can't talk this morning. The omega-3s in algae oil are the EPA and DHA, like the longer chain versions, so they're more beneficial. I think really he was talking in terms of cooking oils. Well, I say cooking oils, like I bet his advice was not to heat them. But oils you'd use in a culinary setting, like so maybe for dressings or, you know, make a vinaigrette or something. Because obviously when we heat the oil, we create oxygen-free radicals, acrylamides, advanced glycation end products, depending on what you're cooking. So I would postulate that algae oil is likely even more health benefits, but like you wouldn't want to have a lot of it. Like you only need like such a tiny amount. It's like minuscule. So yeah, I imagine he would probably say likewise. Algae. Yeah, algae is a plant, isn't it? It's a lichen that's technically not a plant. Anchorhead, my mum said that Fudge looked up when you said his name. Fudge! Fudge! Callum, I'm not very good at maths. I'm currently 93 keys. I'm getting 10% body fat. I've been named for 100 a day. So you're on a cut. 93 kilos. 93. Oh, but how... what is your current body fat percentage? I need to know. Yeah, what's your current body fat percentage? And then also work it out. Amit, damn, every person I talk to about veganism tells me no plants have all essential amino acids. It's also saddening how much the animal agriculture industry lies to you. Thanks, Hench. Isn't it, Jess? So there's your answer. Pull up chronometer, ask them for a whole plant food. And then just show them that all the amino acids are there. Ghostface, my name is from the movie Scream. Came out in 1996, my favourite movie of all time. Classic. Oh, okay. I think Ghostface Killer's name came from the fact that he used to wear ski masks when he used to like burgle people or whatever. Angela's in the house. How you doing? Lovely. Good to see you. Ghostface, moving to San Diego tomorrow. Got to get up early. Have a good night, Paul. Good night, my friend. Thank you for joining and good luck with your move. Angela's got the flu. Bless you. Bless you. Simplistic, get well soon. Simplistic Owl, any tips you give for weight gain? I've been able to gain weight except where... I haven't been able to gain weight except for I eat tons of bad foods. Yeah, so it's really a calorie thing. If you're eating healthy foods, it's harder to eat more calories because there's a lot of water and fibre. You know, it's your legumes, whole grains, fruits and vegetables. But, you know, you can do it on healthy foods and you need to just emphasise the more calorically dense ones. So legumes, whole grains, tropical and dried fruits. These are much more calorically dense rather than like apples, stuff like that. And then, you know, it's better, it's easier to have a bigger percentage of fat in the diet, of fat foods. So like nuts, seeds, whole nut and seed butters, avocados. Those are your best friends, really. And then smoothies as well. It's a lot easier to drink than to eat your calories. Smoothies are found to be healthful. I wouldn't be adding juice in there, but do blend up like dates and bananas, stuff like that. Yeah, add some grain, like some oats or something. If you're into weight training, which most people are, I guess, if they're trying to put on weight, you know, typically, unless of course they had a history of ED. I think for someone trying to build muscle specifically, actively, like weight training, you know, the judicious use of 1 or 2 servings of a more processed plant food can be a benefit. It's not optimal in terms of health. If you're struggling to get the calories in and you have got that goal, I don't see it as too bad, probably, in the context of an otherwise whole foods plant-based diet. Not as healthy as what you're displacing, but if you're not going to eat adequate calories, that's like irrelevant. And where was I going with that? Yeah, it just can help you to get enough protein, like relatively speaking, like, you know, a bigger percentage of protein that you need relative to like your average Joe. So like a quality protein powder, I like Vivo Life. I think it's the healthiest one. It's the most efficacious. So link below for 10% off the Vivo Life's protein powders. And then tofu, tempeh, not that tempeh is not really, it's more like a whole food really. Seitan, textured vegetable protein, like 1 or 2 servings of those, you know, that's really going to help. Arkash, thoughts on spirulina and sea moss? My understanding that spirulina is generally contaminated with like sort of toxins from the environment, and it has some kind of naturally inbuilt neurotoxin. So nutritionfacts.org, who look at all the science, they say like if you're going to have an algae, go for chlorella because it seems to not have those problems. Sea moss, I think, is like a fatty. It's a seaweed. And I doubt it's any better than any other seaweed. It's been marketed by people who want to part you from your cash, but I don't believe there's any science to say, sea moss is like head and shoulders above dulse, arame, wakame, kelp, nori. So I think mix them up. Right, Callum is about 25% body fat, so I'd knock off 10% of weight, so 93 minus 9.3 equals times 2 equals, I would go for 167 grams of protein per day, were I you. And there'd been enough of a deficit that I was losing about 1% of my total body weight each week, but no more than that. Angela, I'm very good, thank you. How are you? Oh, you won't tell me you've got the flu. Sorry, I'm very forgetful. Oh, Angerad, Fudge is now asking if he can have a treat. Oh, asking me if he can have a treat. Why, yes, he can. Give him all the treats, all the plant-based goodies. Speaking of seaweed, I've got dulse in my protein shake. Luckily, it's a delicious chocolate one from Vivo Life. I'm not doing product placement very well, am I? Yeah, so it's covering up the taste. TJB, the Leonard effect is wherever water collides with itself on like waterfall or ocean shore, ocean spray. Okay, I remember watching the at Yarmouth Pleasure Beach. They had the odd log flumes, you know, like a roller coaster, but logs and there's water. And where you got the Leonard effect going on, it created a rainbow every time that it splashed. It was really interesting. Angela, I love the apple wooden bowl you have, and so much. So perfect for fancy food pictures. You know it. Yeah, I like that one too. Noble and Savage. Hi all, just got head-to-hair diet based on nuts. I saw an interesting article on how fats hide cancer cells. What do you mean? Jan, what do you think regarding essential amino acids? What can we eat? What can we best eat the necessary amounts kind over 2 days? The body stores them to draw as needed. I'm not quite sure I understand the question. That we can best eat the necessary amounts kind over 2 days. Are you asking, like, do you need to eat all your quota of essential amino acids every day? I don't really know. Yeah, we certainly do store pools of free aminos, but I would seek to get them daily personally, particularly as a bodybuilder. Yeah, because it's like there's RDAs for a reason, and they will be fully aware that we do store them as well. So I would say every day I would aim to get the minimums of essential amino acids, if that was the question. Angela, how can I tell my body fat? You can't really. I mean, well, there's certain ways of doing it, but is it called hyperbaric chamber or something? Basically, you have to go to a facility where they've got it. I think my nearest one is Cambridge, and you submerge yourself in water, and there's some fancy stuff. DEXA scans where you go in a machine. They're meant to be pretty accurate, but then I've seen one like pro athlete go to 4, and they all came out with different readings. So you can't really tell if someone's really good with body fat calipers. I think, you know, you can at least see which way you go in. But you don't need to know it precisely, and I don't know that we can know it precisely. So that's just as well, really. But the easiest way is to go on like Google Images. Other search engines are available. And then, it's already on there. Images. So this is specifically male body fat percentages, but you can get ones for women as well. Oh, here's one with both. Yeah, and so you can... Google Lens is that? Right, I didn't know. Can I enlarge in this? Anyway, you can see this, so you can just basically compare yourself relative to the images that comes up with, and that's going to be, you know, near enough. That's going to be near enough. Where do I think I am? I don't really know. I reckon I'm around 15% probably. I guess. It's hard to say. I think I've got very deep abs, so I think often I'm probably fatter than I really appreciate. But I've certainly got more cuts than this dude. And this one. But yeah, again, my cuts are kind of deeper, so I can sort of get away with a little more body fat. And when I say my cuts, what I really mean to say is my muscle is quite thick, so like the potential for cuts is more. Like there's more space, so if I had the same fat as someone next to me, likely I'd look leaner than your average person because the mass is there, so there's more of a valley to fill up with fat, if that makes sense. I think I explained myself in the end. Let's finish this blink and shake off. Oh, Fudge can do a high five. Oh, we taught Cowboy to do that, but we didn't keep up with it, so she don't do it anymore. Oh, that's very good. AMTB, a mountain biker. Hey, bro, how do you go from high carb endurance athlete to heavier muscle build without gaining a bunch of weight? You don't. If you're an endurance athlete, I imagine you're really lean, and then if you want to go to a heavier muscly build, you're going to have to put weight on to build some muscle on that small frame, aren't you? Am I missing something? Tell me more words if I'm not really answering your question properly. Say if you were a fat endurance athlete, you could eat at maintenance calories, burn fat and build muscle. That would be the only way that would be a thing. Ankarad remembers the log flume from Camelot. Looks like you've got warm memories. Deplezy, someone told me the other day that eating spinach depletes or stops the absorption of minerals, etc. Is there any truth to this? Yeah, there is some truth to it. Earlier I said, didn't I, don't eat more than about a serving of spinach per day, and that's because of the oxalates. Oxalates bind with some minerals, so there's two reasons why you don't want to go too heavy in spinach, chards, beet greens, rhubarb, and carambola or starfruit. Sandy, hello you. I remember you. How are you doing, lovely? Good to see ya. Angela, is the screen black for anyone else? I can't see anything, just black. Not my end. It seems to be working my end. Noble. Noble and Savage. Did my message about Science Daily article on daily fats hiding cancel signals? Oh, are you talking about what Angela's saying? I'm confused. A mountain biker, unwanted weight. Do it slowly. Do it slowly. Just go into enough of a caloric excess that you're slowly building muscle, but not more that you're putting fat on. The trouble is, like, there's no magic number, and the number's going to be changing constantly. So, you know, just don't be in a rush. Eat in a slight excess. If you're only in a minuscule excess, it's going to take forever to gain. So you want to go up a bit more. But then if you go over, you're going to start putting fat on as well. And simply at that point, you just assess in the mirror and you think, yeah, I'm getting a bit fat now. I'll just spend 6-8 weeks in a slight caloric deficit, you know, and just lean out again. And then go back into your excess, but not as much of an excess as you were before. Right, did my message about Science Daily article on dietary fats hiding cancer signals? Did it what? No, I did answer it. I thought I did. Or did I? I remember reading somewhere. Saw an interesting article on how fats hide cancer cells. I thought I spoke to it, but I don't really know anything about it. So what's the deal with that then exactly? Hey Benny, good to see you, my friend. How are you doing? What are you up to today? Backing off on cardio, lifting more weights. It's been hard to get right. Yeah, it's a difficult flannel. Jan, yes, thanks, was a clumsy question. Never you mind, Jan. I just appreciate you being here. You're all right, Noble and Savage. Hey, Pedro. Is that like Spanish for Paul? No, that's Paolo, isn't it? That's what I'm thinking of. And Ankarad, can't believe that Camelot is now a housing estate. So many wonderful memories. Yes, it's frustrating when things change, isn't it? It can be quite sad. Went back to look at my old my infant school once, and it had become a housing estate, and yeah, I felt really sad. Just saw how like time goes on and nothing's forever, and that was a bitter pill to swallow. Hey Lolly, you're okay. Never you mind. How are you doing? And General Foy is in the house. Sarah Foy, how are you doing, lovely? So what's everyone up to today then? What's the plan? What am I doing? I've got some arms training in a bit. biceps and triceps. Got to get some more gains. What's everyone else doing? Oh, well, then I want to make a video if possible. I might do Mike the Vegan, or not Mike the Vegan, Dr. Mike. Might criticise his last video. Right, Noble and Savage. High-fat diet interrupts the signals from the intestinal cells to immune cells that patrol looking for cancer. That's interesting. I mean, certainly, people eating a higher carb diet, you know, if we look at the blue zones, the longest lived people, you know, the very longest lived, the Okinawans of the 40s, they ate 85% carbohydrate. So I wouldn't be surprised. Pedro, the English equivalent would be Peter. Ah, okay. Paolo. Yep. Anchorad, that is very sad. Oh, and Eve's here, my IRL friend. How are you doing, Eve Whittle? Hello to you. Amit, what's your opinion on the approach on Vegan Gains to spread the philosophy of veganism? It's a mixture of good and absolutely horrendous, in my view. And I've actually never been wrong about anything. Rombler, do you think there's a benefit to doing cardio while cutting, since you can maintain effectively? Since you can effectively consume more protein, maintain the same deficit as direct cardio, stimulate muscle process. Do you think there's a benefit to doing cardio whilst cutting, since you can effectively? Right, I'm not quite sure I totally understand the question. So, yeah, I think there's a benefit to doing cardio for cutting. I mean, yeah, and you're kind of alluding to it in a way. You get to eat more calories, so you're more likely to fulfill your nutritional requirements versus like a sedentary person having to go super low calorie may struggle to get all their nutrients in. And of course, we should be working our heart and lungs. We should be working our bones and muscles. So we should be doing cardio. We should be doing some resistance training. So yeah, I would always be doing some kind of cardio. Angela's nearly ready for bed. 1:20 a.m. or 12 a.m. I can't quite tell. I'm going to say 1:20 based on what time it is this end. Wow, that's late. Benny's just done a workout. Well, there's two of you done your workouts already. I'm feeling sluggish. Now making brekkie and off to work. Well, have a good day, my friend. And yeah, good to see you as always. Good to see you as always. What are you having for breakfast? Sarah's watching the new kittens, Cosmic and Joey, named after the vegan activists. Very good. Eve, is Malcross Middle still standing? No. So yeah, Dowson First and Malcross Middle. Yeah, they're houses. They're houses. Long time ago. Yeah. Yeah, it really wounded me. I was surprised how sad it made me. Mountain bike, how many grams of protein for 6'3", 200-pound guy is a target? So it depends whether you're in a caloric excess, trying to bulk, or in a maintenance or a deficit. So for you, you're going to actually need less than if you were just trying to maintain or lose, which is about 2 grams of protein per kilo of leanish body weight per day. You're going to need more like 1.6. Where's my calculator? Actually, 1.62, I think, is the exact science. 1.62. Oh, and so again, like, how lean are you? I'm going to guess you might be pretty lean. If you're no more than about 15% body fat, mind you, if you're 200 pounds, I'm going to imagine you might have a bit of extra timber on there. What sort of body fat percentage are you, do you think? 62... 200 pounds. If you were pretty lean, I'd say about 147 grams per day, but you need to be in a slight caloric excess at least. If you're if you've got much more body fat than about 15%, then that extra percentage you'd want to take off of your body weight, then multiply that by 1.62. Or you can just tell me it and I'll do it if you can't take all that in at once. General Foy, I didn't buy the kittens from a breeder. My cousin has house cats, so I didn't get them spayed, and the male came in and got with one of the females, so they were a happy accident. I bet that male was very happy. Hazelnut Bix, what a great name. Good morning, watching from the Algarve. Wow. Oh, I'm a 60-year-old vegan lady. That is amazing. Vegan for 18 years. That is even more amazing. That is twice as long as me. Well, you might as well take over the stream because you probably know better than I do. Oh, that's really nice to meet you, Hazelnut Bix. How's the vegan scene in the Algarve? And yeah, what made you go vegan? I'm interested. Angrad, we should teach Fudge to say, "Oh god damn!" I bet you could make a lot of money if you could do that. You could do the rounds on TV. Hazelnut Bix, someone thought I was in my 40s last night. Wow, amazing. I'm guessing you're eating quite whole foods based and not so much in terms of junk foods. Lucy's in the house. General Lucy, good to see you, my lovely. How are you? Callum, I was at work yesterday having my porridge and fruit. Clothes came over. I couldn't eat that rubbish. It looks like baby food. What's in your team? Make milk. Your proper baby food. 2 people in my team and I trying to offer it's plant-based. Very good. People, eh? I couldn't eat bits of cadavers or I couldn't drink titty milk like a baby, like you just said. You freaking weirdos. That's what I'd say. Benny, I always have oats and fruit for breakfast. Yeah, I mostly do pretty much every day. Not entirely every day. Most days. I sometimes have... actually, I have whole wheat bread quite a lot in place of the oats now. I have a bit of a mixture. I nearly had oats today, except I forgot my blender was broken. So I put all my ingredients in my blender for a 2-litre smoothie. I tried to turn it on and then realised that it was broken. And then I had to make beans on toast. Terrible. Amit, I remember watching the MotoGP race that was happening in Portimao at the Algarve circuit. Oh, Eve, I'm just eating breakfast, homemade granola and fruit. Wow. Very good. And do you... Homemade granola, that's going the extra mile. So are you trying to eat one without like oil and refined sugar? Is that the reason you're making it yourself? If so, top bloody marks. And can you send me some? Heading over to the local moors with the dog. Lovely. Have a great day and much love to you and Gemma. And right back at you, Eve. And we should all get together sometime. Next time you're in Norwich, we should... we'll get Jay along and... yeah, we should meet up for a smoothie or something. That'd be really good. 20% plus. Yeah, so I'd just cut out another, I don't know, 10% of that. Maybe another 10 grams of protein. You can knock that off. So about 137 or something. That should be about nice. There's always the upper limit where you can get no further benefit, and adding in extra protein that you don't need possibly is a risk factor. Like again, the longest lived people on record ate, I think, 7% of their calories from protein. So Hazelnut Bix, all the plant-based doctors like Gregor, Barnard, etc. have made me improve my diet even more. Long-term veganism really does make a difference, doesn't it? Just Daniel PM. Important question for me, please. Go. Hazelnut Bix. Getting better in the Algarve, but unfortunately their favourite food is suckling pig and sardines. Terrible. Amit, pig farming makes you feel the worst, especially when you look at the magnitude of emotions pigs can feel. Yeah, it's horrible. Formula 1 was noisy. I bet that was. Important question here. Yeah, Daniel, if you ask the question, I'll be able to answer it. Joe Troy, have you tried oat groats yet? They're great. I don't think I have, you know. I don't think I have. I don't even know what they look like. Oh wow, Eve, you always make it with tahini. That's impressive. We did make at least once or twice. We've made our own granola. I think we used like date syrup, so we whizzed dates up with water and then mixed all the ingredients in that to give like a sort of sugary coating. Yeah, tahini would be a good addition, wouldn't it, for a fatty element? I'm impressed. Ron below, I managed to break my blender stick making some homemade protein bars. Don't. Started smoking and just kept sparking. Didn't want to risk it. No, I don't blame you. Yeah, they do give up sooner or later. Oh, lovely, Eve. Well, let's make a date as soon as we can. That would be awesome. Poison Botanist, good to see you. How are you doing, my friend? Thanks for joining. Hazelnut Bix. Sounds like a breakfast cereal. Hazelnut Bix. Sort of hazelnut Weetabix. My husband and I eat simply grains, potatoes, lots of veg fruit, no processed foods unless we do it ourselves. Husband is in the process of making tempeh. Wow. I'm impressed. I hereby invite myself round for dinner if I'm ever in the area. Amit, were you not, when you were not vegan, what were the reasons you gave to justify meat consumption? None. I didn't ever have it questioned by anyone because, of course, it's normal, natural, and necessary, or at least it was to my brain at that time. Shane O'Neill is in the hizzy. Hey, why do you follow a low-fat diet? I don't. About 25% of my calories are from fats. Because I'm a bodybuilder and I need more calories than the average Joe, and to fit that in from whole plant foods means that I do need a bit of a higher percentage of nuts, seeds, whole nut and seed butters, avocados. Were I not bodybuilding, I would be on a lot less calories, which would be healthier, and I would go lower fat. And lower fat diets are shown to be healthier in the literature. It's all there. As I say, the longest lived people on record, Okinawa into the 40s, they ate 8% of their diet as fat. 8%. It's very hard, even with like healthy vegan fat sources like nuts. Even people say olive oil is healthy. 14% of olive oil is saturated fat. A lot of that is palmitic acid, which is real horrible. And, in order to not get coronary heart disease, you need to have your serum LDL no more than about 70 milligrams per deciliter. So that leaves a very little room for much in the way of these naughty saturates. So there's, like I say, there's saturates and there's saturates. And the saturates in most plant foods, the majority of them aren't the harmful long and very long chain. They're not the so harmful ones. But there are even plant foods like coconut oil, palm kernel oil. You'd actually be better off eating beef fat than these fats, these tropical oils, in terms of heart disease risk, believe it or not. Not that I'm advocating either of them. We should really leave cows alone. They're good people. Okay, Pedro, thanks for joining. Thanks, Hazelnut Bix. Yeah, granola racks. Daniel, the only animals I ate are mussels and shrimps. I'm so attracted to the taste. I don't like the smell very much. It smelled like a men's urinal. Sometimes I feel so guilty. Well, stop doing it. There's your answer. There's nothing in there that you can't get from whole plant foods. And they're going to be healthy. Shrimps have more cholesterol than beef. There's that. And also, something like mussels, like the oceans are the sewers of mankind, and then so those mussels, they're like bottom feeders, like they're filtering like everything through them. JS, you should do a video on Dr. Mike's blood. Yeah, I saw he spoke to Danielle Bellardo. Yeah, I may tackle that today, JS, funnily enough. Jotaro, lots of plant-based doctors say to go raw nut butters. Thoughts? Yeah, because high protein and fat foods contain a lot of advanced glycation end products. These are a gerontotoxin, like an aging toxin, and they accelerate the aging process for every tissue of your body. So it's dementia, macular degeneration, atherosclerosis, osteoporosis, sarcopenia, like muscle wastage. Essentially, like you cause like cross linking of the proteins in the muscle fibers, and then like dysfunction and ultimately, as I say, sarcopenia, like muscle wastage. So once you superheat these fats and proteins, you kind of 3x the amount of AGEs. Isn't that funny? They're a gerontotoxin, they're aging toxin, and the acronym is AGEs, Advanced Glycation End Products. AGEP. Well, age anyway. Advanced Glycation End Products, age. Does exactly what it says on the tin. Good on you, Daniel. I'm impressed. Good for you. You know, I don't know how sentient. I mean, I guess mussels don't have a brain as such, do they? I don't think. But I imagine shrimp do. But either way, like, they are creatures. Like, they're living creatures. And I just feel like they got better things to do than be moided. Let's have a round of applause for Daniel PM, everyone. Seeing the light. Amit, I remember showing my dad the Game Changers documentary. He said he was not going to contest the studies because they were very comprehensive. He did say that he can't conclude that the vegan what? And there's no such thing as, if you're going to say diet, there's no such thing as the vegan diet. There's like millions of iterations of a type of vegan diet. Is supreme because every athlete that is successful, 100. Well, and my argument would be, what percentage of the world is vegan? And if he weren't my dad, I would be tempted to add on you bellend at the end of it. Oh no, you're all right, Amit. I know what you're saying. Animal lover in the hizzy. Crypto color lights tech. If we were eating the right human diet and would clean, how long do you think we would live to be? That's interesting. I saw some postulation. I can't remember who was talking about it, but they were saying that most primates, I think nearly all primates, live to like 7 times the age of sexual maturity. So for a human, they postulated that 126 should be like where we're kind of living up to. And certainly there are humans who have lived to like 125, is there? But there's so many things where it kind of goes wrong now because there's so many toxins in the environment, and you know, I don't really go in for all of this malarkey, but like just certain like wavelengths of like, I don't know, radio waves and things some people say are harmful, like Wi-Fi or whatever. I'm not really too sure about all that, but just to say that there are so many toxins in the environment. Lifestyles are toxic, you know. In order for us to thrive, I think we would ideally be in tribes, you know, in the wilderness, unfettered. But, you know, you get like acid rain and like, you know, you can't be away from it. So you're never going to be totally away from toxins. But you can certainly lower them to a massive degree. So I think for the ultimate life, what would I say? Like tribes in the wilderness We'd all have our own jobs, which we were good at and that we enjoyed. So we'd have a sense of being of purpose. We'd have a sense of significance within the community. I heard there was a study, I don't know if it was Blue Zones, and they said if you don't have a sense of purpose, there's 8 years off the end of your life. How many people feel like they've got a sense of purpose? Like they're going to a job that they hate, like, I don't know, just... And not to criticise anyone who's doing these sort of things, but stacking shelves or whatever, like quite menial, repetitive, where you're not really being of massive service to people. In a way you are. People need groceries. But do you know what I mean? Like some kind of job which they hate, they don't feel they're being of service, they don't feel fulfilled. I heard another 8 years if you're clinically lonely, which they described as 3 or less like really good friends. So again, in this community, you'd have like 130 like really good friends. You'd know everyone. You'd all be working for the common good. You wouldn't have so much. The only stress would be find food, make sure you got some shelter. You know, you wouldn't have the kind of stresses of modern living. You wouldn't have the toxins. We'd be eating a whole foods plant-based diet. We wouldn't be adding salt to our food. We wouldn't be adding refined sugar. We wouldn't be adding oils. We would be eating legumes, whole grains, fruits, vegetables, nuts, seeds, herbs, and spices. Yeah, and in nature. So I understand, like the greens, the blues, the fractal patterns of nature. These lower our cortisol, which would probably translate to like a longer life. The straight lines, the greys of urban living, these raise cortisol, like these cause like more stress. So yeah, 126, this particular person postulated, he didn't produce any evidence other than to say 7x the age of sexual maturity, which is the same as like other primates. So I wouldn't be surprised if it's about 126. I wouldn't be surprised, but I've got no science to really draw on. Right, how are we doing? Poison botanist. I want to go whole foods, but I find I go for easy snacks and fast food a lot when depressed. Any whole food savoury snack suggestions? So number one, I would batch cook. I have loads of things on hand ready to go. And then in terms of snacks, I'll tell you what is really good is kale chips. And you can just make them with a little salt or something, or salt and vinegar. But some of the best kale chips, you would rub on a mixture of like a sort of nut butter, something like cashew butter with nutritional yeast, a bit of onion powder, a bit of garlic powder. You basically have cheese and onion crisps, but they would be like kale. So you'd be eating more vitamin K, more calcium, more iron. Just really lovely stuff. I like roasted curried chickpeas. They're good. Popcorn can be really good. Just fruit in general for snacking. Trail mix. Nuts and seeds. Yeah, that type of thing. You can make like chickpea crackers. Things like that. We've got some recipes. I think we've got a chickpea crackers recipe. And I think we've got a video entitled Vegan Cinema Snacks or something, and those other 3 things I mentioned, the recipes are detailed in there. Mountain bike, my experiment for 1 week is now on the S7. Wow, very good. Crypto color tech. They say gorillas live to be 150 when live alone in the wild. Really? Let's have a look. How long do gorillas live in the wild? That would be really interesting. In the wild, gorillas can live to over 40 years, according to the internet. Not that the internet knows everything. I'm seeing a lot of 35 to over 40 on most sites. May live up to 50 years, apparently, according to SeaWorld.org. What does SeaWorld know about gorillas that other people don't know? Peace Channel, good to see you. Amit, my dad is still transitioning to veganism because the ethical constraints mean a lot to him. We have a pet dog that my dad loves as much as me, and he's got rid of everything except honey. Nice, he's getting that. Crypto Color Tech. The oldest man ever in recorded history was a Chinese man who ate herbs and lived in the mountains. He lived 350 years. Do you actually believe that? Where is his evidence? I don't believe we had birth certificates back in 350 years ago for a start. Certainly not in Chinese mountains. I think that may be complete nonsense. But I wasn't there, so I don't know for sure. Animal lover, do you have any tips for motivation? Say a junk food vegan really wants to go whole foods plant-based, struggles to motivate change. For me, it was learning like the consequences of not. So really just I just buried myself in the literature, watched a lot of nutritionfacts.org, watched some documentaries, Forks Over Knives, What the Health. Yeah, so really just knowing the consequences. And then the other thing is, like, if you're kind of like overweight or things like that, if you're doing it for the sake of the animals, just remember that the messenger is likely more essential than the message. So, if you can't do it for yourself, do it for the animals. All the animals we ate in the past when we didn't know better, and we're now trying to save more animals than we had put to death. We can do that easier in a better looking body. So that's part of my motivation for why I train so hard. JS, have you ever done hunt sabbing? No, I seek not to put myself in volatile situations because, historically, I kind of had real issues with like people being disrespectful to me. Like working as a doorman, I became quite heavy-handed, and I just don't want to hurt people anymore. I became vegan, didn't want to hurt animals, and then I thought, well, if I don't want to hurt animals, why do I want to hurt people? If someone is rude or aggressive, I try to recognize that they're suffering spilling over, and try to forgive it. But it's easier said than done, and we've all got limits. And if someone was to say the wrong thing to me or get a bit aggressive, maybe like shove me or something, there's a good chance that they would be unconscious before I recognised what was going on. And I just don't want to be that person anymore. So I'd just rather avoid the situation. So someone did ask me to join their hunt sabbing before, and I said, I explained that it's just not best. There's a phrase, you can't fight for peace. And if you, I know they do deserve a slap because they're like trying to kill animals, but it's just not a good look for a so-called peaceful movement. So, but I did say that I would be willing to provide self-protection lessons for the hunt sabs. They never really took me up on it. So, there's that. Thanks, Poison Botanist. Amit, 1671 year of birth. So how do you prove that? How do you prove that? Do you know what I mean? Hazelnut Bix, the most common way of ancient people dying was through infection. Yep. Even recently, people died from infection tooth or cat scratch. Exactly. And that may be on its way round again if we keep intensively farming animals and pumping them full of antibiotics. There was a expose of a Norfolk farm. With Norfolk is the county where Norwich is in, where I live, and they found our last line of defence what am I talking about? Antibiotic. And they basically feed antibiotics to animals in industrial farms because the conditions are so squalid. If not, the animals often die. They also accelerate growth. So they just do it anyway. They pump it into all of them. So animals are full of antibiotics, which we need our good bacteria to thrive in our colons. If we're eating animals, we're putting antibiotics where our probiotics are that we want to flourish. So that's a stupid idea from the start. But yeah. But yeah, so we're basically, factory farms are breeding grounds for antibiotic resistant superdrugs. So any minute now, or antibiotics could become useless. And we could die from an infected tooth or a cat scratch because people want to eat animals. Thanks a lot. Mountain biker, thoughts on soy here in the US? It's all GMO, scared of it, been avoiding it. There's no data on genetically modified produce for or against, is my understanding. Certainly no really sort of conclusive data. I would seek to avoid it personally, though. But whole soybeans, I mean, they're beans. Like, beans are healthy. So, did he look 350 years old? He looked 21. You're welcome, animal lover. Crypto Colors Tech. He was 256 years old. His name is Il Ching Yuan. He was not 350. Sorry about that. Now, you're saying he was 256 years old as though it's fact. How do you know that that's a fact? How do you know? And how would you prove it? How would you prove it? Anyone could say anything without evidence. What is that phrase? An assertion made without evidence can be dismissed without evidence. And extraordinary claims require extraordinary evidence. Like, that's like double what we can confirm people live to. That's double. So where is his extraordinary evidence to back up his extraordinary claim that he is twice as old as anyone else has ever lived to? Don't believe everything you read is my advice on that one. Oh, a mountain biker, the whole soy estrogen thing, I mean. Yeah, that's complete nonsense. Phytoestrogens are 1/10,000th the strength of mammalian estrogen. So if you want to avoid estrogen, don't have dairy. Like 70% of dairy cows are pregnant at any given time. Their estrogen production is through the roof and it comes out in the milk. So that thing about... So I just read another comment and it's thrown me now. It's laughing inside. Yeah, the thing about soy being pro-estrogenic was nonsense started by the dairy industry. And they're the ones doing that's a projection. That is serious projection. It's complete nonsense. So if you look at the data, soy is actually protective of estrogen dominant, estrogen like requiring cancers, things like breast cancer. The countries with the most soy consumption have the least of these types of cancer because the soy is protective. It binds with the receptor site, so blocks mammalian estrogen. So therefore, therefore it actually lowers the total estrogenic effect throughout the body. Gaz, morning, Hench. Were you trying to say what are my top nutrition supplements? But then you saw the free guide, so yeah, download that. For a vegan, eat a whole foods plant-based diet, eat enough calories, eat a range of legumes, whole grains, fruits, vegetables, nuts, seeds, herbs, and spices. If it's not sunny, you need to add D3. We probably need to add B12 as well, although supposedly it is in some plant foods, we reckon now, but it's not been proved in vivo, only in vitro. I think DHA is worth adding in, probably, but if we get enough ALA and we don't have too much omega-6 relative to that, no more than 3 or 4 to 1, 6 to 3, then we probably most people shouldn't need a direct EPA or DHA, but I add it in as a fail-safe. If anyone wants my recommendation for what I think are the best supplements, Vivo Life, link below, 10% off, code HENCH10. I'm a brand ambassador with those guys. Angela, my daughter, is a vegetarian now. She's on her way. That's very good. Crypto Color Lights Tech. Look it up. It's public. Public knowledge. What does that mean, public knowledge? Do you mean like it's written on the internet somewhere? And do you believe that every single thing written on the internet is true, is factual? Because on any given topic, there's millions of different opinions on the same thing. So what you use is public knowledge. Where is the evidence? Who is the longest lived person on record? Okay, so this is public knowledge. At the moment of writing, the overall record for the oldest living person belongs to Kane Tanaka, Japan. No surprise there. Who is now aged 118. Only 4 years shy of breaking the record of the oldest person ever. Public knowledge. It's on the internet, so it must be right. Which currently belongs to Janine Louise Calmet, France, who was born 21st of February 1875 and died aged 122. So this is public knowledge. It's on the internet, so it must be right according to you, but it's not agreeing with what you said. So what's gone wrong there? What's gone wrong there? It's almost as I'm a moron and I don't know what I'm on about. I'm being facetious now, sorry. Vic Wayne 2K, are frozen fruits still good for you like fresh fruits, or is it best to stick to fresh fruit? It depends. If your food is fresh, if you're biting into an apple that's still on the tree, that's going to be number one. If you're buying an apple out of a supermarket, that may be covered in wax and it may have been sitting around for potentially months, slowly losing nutrition. And most frozen produce is fresh frozen, and freezing locks in the nutrients. So I'd say on aggregate, probably, but depending, but probably you're better off with frozen in terms of like ultimate nutrition. Yeah, believe it or not. Canned I would throw out. Dried fruits are okay, but yeah, fresh or frozen is going to be the best. Jarno, if GM plant is generated by using animal DNA, is plant non-vegan? Thoughts on this? I've never ever thought about it. Animal DNA. So I guess if they got the DNA from the animal, that's not a vegan act, is it? But then it's going to be reproducing. So technically I'd say it's probably non-vegan, but then after the fact, I don't think it matters because you're not adding to the, you're not adding to animal suffering after that sort of first generation. Yeah, I've never thought about that, and I kind of feel like I wouldn't want to mess with it because you said that. Now, that's a very interesting question, something I've never thought about. Very good. I should probably think about getting to the gym soon, really. Let's go a little bit longer. Guys, I'm just going to grab a water because I need to go to the gym in a minute, but I'm not hydrated enough. I was going to quit by now, but I'm enjoying myself today, so I'll just grab a water and I'll keep going for at least a little bit longer. Getting quite hot as well. I'll just grab a drink, that'll be 1 second. Okay, a bit hot as well. Yeah. Wee. Okay. Dragon Fist is in the hizzy. That sounds delicious, but personally I wouldn't eat it, but that does sound very lovely. What would you rate my brownies out of 10? 10 probably for enjoyment and 0 for health. Angela thinks we used to live till 400. It's an interesting perspective. Crypto Color Tech, when you get a chance, look it up and let me know what you think about this 256-year-old man. I think he's a liar. I think he's a liar. And if he's not got any evidence, I would say, like, how do you know? If you weren't there, like, how do you know? It seems like nonsense. How would he prove it? How would he prove it? And if there's no proof, like, why are you believing it? I've seen a load of people claiming to be hundreds of years old. I've seen loads, and every time, even before I understood about science, I thought, like, that sounds like bullshit. But yeah, if you can't prove it, like, what's the point? Anyone can say anything. Like, what is the point? I don't get it. Ollie B, Eddie Hall versus Half-Thor Bjornsson. Who's your pick to win? Thor's got more of a reach, but unless he's just pretending, he looks very slow and sluggish, slow on his feet, slow pushy punches. I mean, Eddie Hall's not a whole lot better, but he looks a little bit sharper than Thor. Though he's not got such a reach, he's going to need to come inside. So at the minute, I would put my money on Eddie Hall, I think. JS, is the compound movements, bench, deadlift, squat, shoulder press, rows, enough at the gym? Enough for what? If you're just looking to be healthy, have good all-round strength, I would say that that's a really good balance, and that's the 5 movements that I would actually be doing. So probably I would say yes, depending on what your question is. Is it enough to have the ultimate bodybuilding physique? No. Hazel Nutfix, woohoo! You should have taken your shirt off, seen it. Well, I'll remember that next time, and maybe we'll get a few more people watching. Thanks, Hazel. You're very kind. Oh, that's tickled me, that has. Graceful Gumbus, how do you deal with bloating on a clean bulk? I've been trying to eat very, very slowly to start off. If you're eating clean, you're going to be eating a lot of high fiber foods, and you're going to have at least like a rounded stomach from all the fiber in there. I mean, I certainly do, and I don't feel like I've got a particularly high percentage of body fat. So number one, just mentally decide that that's a necessary evil. And, you know, by the next morning, of course, that's gone again once you've gone to the loo. If you mean in terms of you having gut distress, because perhaps historically you didn't eat such high fiber and now you are, particularly legumes and things, and now you're getting excessive bloating from the, you know, from the action of the bacteria, just over time that's going to dissipate. Or it should do, unless you've got some kind of pre-existing gut issue. So just be patient, or perhaps just more slowly transition. Take out some of your more processed foods and then add in some of your healthy food, and just take a few short weeks so the gut microbiome has time to adapt. You kill off some more of the pathogenic Bacteroides strains of bacteria, and then more of the Prevotella strains blossom, take their place, and they can more effectively process the fibre. JS, I thought the oldest person was 700 years old. After the stream, I'm going to write a little article and I'm going to say that the oldest person was 1400 years old. And because it's public knowledge, that will then be the truth. The Wind Waker, I Googled it and I found zero evidence, just very old, that looked very old. JS is 602. See, that's not even middle age according to my data. Dragon Fist, you silly. It's very funny. Callum, after training hard 6 days a week, how long did it take you to see gains? Pretty immediately, really. I mean, you get your most gains in the first 2 years. And then after, towards 5 years, it tails off. And then after 5 years, you're looking to gain like £1 a year, really. So, yeah, but you'll see gain. If you're new to training, you should see gains really quick. If you're not in enough of a caloric surplus, say you're eating maintenance calories, you'll see no gains no matter how hard you try. If you're in a caloric deficit, you'll see like negative, like you'll see like potentially fast losses. But if you're in the right amount of a caloric surplus, then you're going to see really fast gains, like on a weekly basis. Like you can probably, it's hard to put a number on things, but you can certainly put on a few pounds in the first year. So that's going to be noticeable, particularly in the beginning, like week to week. Jarno, one thing that has also been on my mind, if some alcohol is not vegan, is vinegar because vegan is made from alcohol and red wine vinegar. It would depend on the exact type, basically. It would depend on the type. Yes, that's something I've never considered before. That's interesting. Jonathan, best sweetener for unflavoured protein powders. Okay, so like from a health perspective, I would personally blend the protein powder up with some dates. So you got the fibre in there. That would be the best way to do it. Crypto Colour Lights. So we're still talking about that guy. Bring it up because he was a herbalist. Well, you should have said earlier, and if he was a herbalist, I totally believe him now. Wind Waker. I'm way more than 1,000 years old, but I'm not talking about the vessel I'm currently in. I like it. Alex Small in the house. Good to see you. Gone to a debate at a Cube of Truth with some pro-farmer guys. Was scary, but felt good to stand my ground. Good for you. And yeah, well done. See, this is why I don't kind of put myself out there, because I don't like people disrespecting me. I don't bother me online because I think, well, you know, you wouldn't say it to my face. I just kind of laugh. But yeah, when it's if it was to happen in real life, I would really struggle to keep my cool. Dragon Fist, is it okay to eat pizzas from a restaurant? No, they are killing you. But from a non-health perspective, that doesn't have vegan options, but you can customize it to have it vegan. Check their website, it didn't say if the base was vegan, so I called them out and asked if they said any animal products. If they're vegan, they said they are vegan. So that sounds fine. Crypto Colour Lights are still going on about Li Qingyuan. He was born on 1677 and died in 1933, according to Google. Oh, and Wikipedia. Well, if it's Google and Wikipedia, there's no doubt it must be true, because Google and Wikipedia were probably there at his birth. Dragon Fist, asked if their bases had any animal products and if they were vegan. I've read that already. So I'm a bit thrown out by this crazy talk. Mountain biker, whole rolled oats fixes my gut bacteria every time. Yeah, oats, grains in general have more resistant starch, which is really good for our gut microbiome. Dragon Fist, their website doesn't say their base is made from, and I worry it could change their recipe at any time. I mean, unless it's whole grain, it's kind of fairly unlikely to have animal products, but yeah, it's not impossible. So yeah, I would really probably want to see the pack. Alex, if you're not super lean, could you not gain muscle at maintenance calories or a deficit? Yeah, a deficit. If you're really new to lifting, or if you're coming back after a really long layoff, yeah, I think you could probably even be in a deficit and gain some muscle, but it would be very short-lived. In terms of maintenance calories, that would be more manageable. But even then, like, that's not sustainable over the long term. So for the longest time, I was eating at maintenance calories after the COVID thing. And I was getting towards the strongest I've ever been. And I then had to up my calories somewhat and be in a bit of a surplus in order to grow. So it's not sustainable over the long term, certainly. But yeah, depending on how near you are, or if you've come back, then possibly you could. Crypto, I don't know it to be a fact. So why are you saying the longest lived man was X years old? You're saying it as fact. So what you should say is, according to Wikipedia and Google, apparently this guy, but there is no substantiating evidence, would be a better way to put that. Just saying, we don't know if it's true or not, but you can look him up when you get a chance. I don't think I want to. I feel like it'll be a waste of my time. I'm just going to do it because you don't stop going on about it and it's tickling me. And I don't want you to feel like I'm being unkind to you. I don't mean to be rude. So let's have a look. Let's humour you. I mean, the person I looked up was on Google as well. So do you see what I mean? Like, there's more, there's several, oh my God, they've actually put it in here. How do I nip on him? Oh yeah, I've actually seen this guy before, I remember. There we go. Oh, let's all get in on it. Died 6th of May 1933. Now I believe that's probably right, because we were probably keeping records there, and maybe someone's got his death certificate, so we could definitely prove his death, or we can likely prove his death. 7 feet tall, a Chinaman, 7 feet tall. Wow. His true date of birth has never been determined. His claims are considered to be a myth by gerontologists. So people who study aging, like the world's leading experts in aging, consider his claims to be a myth. What does that mean? He took life force in the mountains. What the flipping heck does that mean? They're just making stuff up. And was skilled in Qigong, so iron shirt training. He worked as a herbalist. Right. So he was a herbalist. Now herbalists, we claim him to have all the knowledge for really extending your life, like your health. Does he have any does he have any incentive to pretend that he's older than he really was? The correct answer is bloody yes. So there's his motive. Selling things, goji berries and ginseng. Oh, gotu kola. That's in my Viva Life Thrive supplement. In that case, I definitely believe him, because I want you to buy more Thrive, along with other Chinese herbs, of herbs and rice wine. Well, goji berries are fruit. It's not a herb. You couldn't just live off herbs and wine. He lived off a diet of alcohol, shortens your life. Teacher of martial arts and tactical advisor. He's certainly an interesting character. I will give him that much. What am I doing? Here we go. Oh, sorry, Callum, I missed you out there. How far into veganism should you consider changing career if you're a chef? Wherever your moral compass doesn't allow you to continue down that path anymore. And like start a vegan restaurant. You know, there's more and more vegan restaurants all the time. They're all looking for like skilled chefs. So you probably don't need to change career. And each to their own. Each to their own. You know, we're not in a vegan world currently, and sometimes we have to earn money. So we need to do what we've got to do in order to survive. You know, you're not adding to the demand. Well, I suppose you could cook your non-vegan foods horrendously, so people don't want to eat them. That might work. Thanks, Angela. Thank you, Dr. Simon Bignell. How are you doing? Thanks for joining. Dragonfist, use almond powder in all of your smoothies, or is almond powder a superfood? There's no agreed upon definition of superfood. That's kind of a marketing term, but I suppose one way of considering it is like lots of nutrition for little calories. I think that would be a decent sort of benchmark if there was actually such a term. And yeah, amla powder is powdered Indian gooseberry. There's hardly any calories and very dense nutrition, lots of vitamin C. Most antioxidant-rich food in the world, in fact, is amla powder. And yeah, I use it in all my smoothies. JS, I struggle feeling rows in my back. Any tips, or is it just because I'm a beginner? When you're doing rows, like visualize your upper arms as levers. Visualize your forearms as chains and visualize your hand as a hook. So all you can do is drive back with the lever and the other bit is driving behind it. So rather than sort of pulling with your arm and flexing your bicep, and you'll feel the strain there if you get it wrong, and I certainly used to the first couple of years I was lifting, with any back movement, just drive with the elbow. Sorry, I'm not doing it very good because my image is mirrored. But this should be directly pointing like forwards for a row. And so in that case, you're taking the strain off of here and you're putting it into the lat. Like really squeeze your lats. Make sure your shoulders are retracted throughout as well. Don't have your shoulders protracted, have them retracted. Yeah, and just squeeze in. Go slow. Take like a couple of seconds, little squeeze at the top, and then maybe more like 1 second. Like a second up, a little squeeze, and then like 2 seconds down. Boom. Boom. I think that's likely best. If you've got any machines where you can have your chest support, like a chest supported close or wide grip row, where you're like leaning into the pad. Like a lot of people when they do rows, they kind of got a lot of body movement, so the momentum, their low back actually is getting the bar moving. And you could do that so fast, you could end up with the bar in the right position, but it could have been your lower back that gave the power, the momentum. So yeah, try to go as strict as possible, but visualize lever, chain, hook. So this is right. Think actually of pushing something backwards with your elbow rather than pulling with your arm. Think of pushing with your elbow, and this is just latched on and this just comes with it. If you've not got lifting straps, that probably won't help. I like to use lifting straps for rows. Some people will say, well, that's not training your forearms or your grip strength. And my perspective is I'm trying to train my lats. And that will often be a limiting factor. These muscles are so big and powerful, they can do a lot. These muscles, you know. I think go as far as you can without straps, but when your grip becomes a limiting factor, add in straps so you can go heavier. And perhaps if you want to work on grip strength, you know, sort of forearm stuff, tack that in at the end of your pull workout or of your back day. Yeah. Okay, guys, I'll do 10 more minutes and then I better head off to the gym myself. Arms today. So get your comments or questions in. Yeah, I would just Dragonfish, just have, you know, just ask for recipes or just tell them like exactly what you don't have like in things. Thanks, Wind Waker. Alex, sort of go through short periods of accidentally bulking where I gain muscle but also fat and have to switch to a cutting phase. Yep, standard. Crypto Colour Tech, thanks for at least looking up. You're welcome, my friend, and I hope you didn't feel I was being unkind to you. I didn't mean to, but I just found that claim a little bit like much. Yeah, and I hope I didn't make you feel bad. And I love you, brother, and thank you for joining the stream and being engaged in it. He did look well old, to be fair. That's right, Lolly. And do you know what I mean? For all I know, he might be telling the truth. Like, there are some strange anomalies, but just based on what I know and what's provable, you know, it's just that phrase in there: extraordinary claims require extraordinary evidence. Anyone can say anything. And just because something's written on the internet, well, I could write anything on the internet. No doubt, something I've said in a video has been wrong. You know, no doubt. Science changes all the time. Gaz, Hench, I was vegan for a year on calorie control, 2,400 calories, 16 stone to the 13, which is great, but before I could build up my calories, was told I looked terrible. Well, that's like a matter of opinion, isn't it? And 13 stone, I mean, depends on like some factors, but I would say that sounds like a very healthy weight. Yeah, you do get that dragon fist. That is very true. You do have to be careful. Angela, look up that lady that's like 70 and she looks 30, eats raw vegan, going on her own feed. Yeah, I know who you mean. Annette, what's her name? Yeah, she does look very good. Gaz, any pointers before I go back to the vegan journey again? What specifically are you struggling with? Were they saying you didn't look good because you lacked like muscle mass, for instance? In which case I'd say now maybe go into a slight surplus, like just a little surplus, but not so much that you put fat on, and just lift progressively heavier with some resistance training, and then that'll fill your muscles out. You're already lean, so yeah, you can't help but look amazing really at that point. But let me know if you mean in another way. Nice, Angela. I'm 46. People say I look 35. A lot of people say I look younger than I'll be 48 very soon. A lot of people say I look a lot younger. A lot of anti-vegans say I look 70. I just take it all with a pinch of salt, really. Dryopithecus, dude. Honestly, your content has been a life changer. Thank you for your work, mate. Thank you. I'm still have lots of work to do when it comes to building my own calorie nutrition kilometer. Lifting is on point. Also, hoodie fits. Oh, you bought one of our hoodies. Thank you so much. Bless you. If you post any photos on the gram or anywhere, do tag us in it. We'd love to have a look. Maybe do a reshare. Angela, you and Gemma should open a shop. We thought about it, but it's not our passion, and I just want to make content. But that's very kind of you to say so. Dr. Simon, my squat weight is about a plate less than my deadlift. Is there any general guide for ratio of squat to deadlift weight? Normally, I don't know really. I'm not really a strength athlete. I'm more of a physique athlete, so that's not something I've ever looked into. Generally, deadlift is like quite a bit ahead of squat, though, isn't it? I think for people who are into strength training. I don't know that there's any sort of a ratio. It probably depends on like your personal lever lengths and things like that. So I wouldn't worry too much. Crypto color lights. Do you think it's possible to live over 100? I mean, I'm no whatever that word was for age scientist, which we saw on that other page. From what I understand currently, I think it's extremely unlikely. Dragon Fist. In one of your videos, you say that your trolls called you 10,000 years old. No, but more like 70. That's the case. It's pretty amazing for 10,000. Thank you. I try my best. Crypto color tech. When we treat our bodies right, who knows how long we can live for? Well, the only data we have on it suggests up to 122, according to records. And so, but was there more things that those people could have done? Like maybe, would it made any difference? We don't really know. But yeah, so the science, apparently, I'm no primatologist, but the science apparently shows that other primates live until 7 times the age of sexual maturity. So for a human, apparently that would be about 126. And on record, we've got 122, the current being 118. So yeah, I'd be more inclined to believe that until we came out with some evidence, showing otherwise. But yeah, you never know. You never know. Until you've got science to prove things, you don't know. All we can do is infer based on our current understanding of things. Super chat. Gaz Finn very generously donated 5 Great British pounds. He's not even got a question. He's just supporting his local neighbourhood vegan YouTuber out of the kindness of his heart. Thank you, my friend. I really appreciate you. That's funny, Alex. Callie, you naughty girl. I like your style. Kitsy Katza. Hi everyone. Hello Hench. Hope everyone have a nice day. I'll finally get to ask my long question I've been trying for weeks. You better hurry up because I need to go to the gym in a minute and my water's nearly gone. Callum, when it comes to seaweed, how many grams a day should we be consuming? I'm not a big fan of seaweed, but I've been trying to put dulse in my smoothies. Dulse, I don't know what the weight is, but we only need a teaspoon a day on average, which is, don't even know if that's a gram, but that's 150 micrograms of iodine. So that's specifically what we're really after with seaweed. So yeah, one teaspoon a day. However, there is science to show that iodine can vary 6-fold. So you want to be careful. I actually use different sources, different seaweeds, and mix them up as regularly as possible, so that I'm more likely to be getting, on average, the right amount. Angela is off to bed, 2:10 a.m. Bless you. Night, lovely. Thanks for joining. You're welcome, JS. Lolly, Hench, I read fenugreek can be beneficial. I just wondered if it could be shed light on any more light on that. Is that true? Fenugreek, what is it's meant to be a testosterone booster, but my understanding is it's probably nonsense in terms of real clinical outcome. I don't know any specifics other than that with fenugreek, but is it a spice? I mean, it is going to be amazing for our health. you know, any whole plant food really that's not poisonous is going to be good for us in all different ways. We probably don't know the half of it, but yeah, sorry, I don't know any other specifics on that. Anti-skull fit. Hey Hench, do you do push pull leg, and rest day? I was for the longest time. I recently, and I do mean recently, I think 2 weeks ago, I've changed to a bro split because I find I actually do better just training body parts once a week, but really thrashing them. So I've gone, wait for it, I've gone chest and calves, front, side and rear delts and transverse abdominis, bis and tris, hill sprints on my bike for my legs, or my upper legs, quads and hamstrings, and then back and lats, rest, and then hill sprints again. So I'm still doing my legs twice a week, and that's more like high intensity interval training, like on my bicycle, just sprinting up the hill, and that's keeping my quads size, but also giving me some fitness gains, and not having such pains in my kind of hip and knee and low back. You know, I've been training so long now and so heavy. I'm nearly half a century old, so I'm starting to feel it. And during lockdown, I couldn't lift heavy because I didn't have the equipment available. I got into hill sprints, and I've kept them in because I just feel so much better. So probably better for my health as well. Crypto colors light tech. I need some color lights. Went vegan for 8 months and I got really skinny. I didn't eat any starch, just plants and fruits, and drank water. Vegetables, do you mean? And fruits? Only ate fruits that had seeds in. Interesting. Gaz, body looks good, face looked drawn. Okay, so maybe you were just a little lower fat, then you'd be optimal for sort of looks. Thanks, Gaz. That's really kind. Ben, hey Hench, I play for a football academy, and I was wondering if you could recommend taking caffeine or any supplements pre-match. Oh, if I would, not really. I think we're better off without him. If you're the sort of person who tolerates caffeine really well, then I would just use it judiciously. Pre-match. Other supplements, beetroot or beetroot juice, which may not be optimal for health, but beetroot crystals you can get as well. So these make us produce more nitric oxide, so we get better kind of endurance. They're the couple of things I would consider, basically. You're welcome, Simon. Frodo, do you think Sverige will ever respond to any of your videos? Your videos always make me smile. No, because he's got no answer, has he? Like, because he's wrong. I don't think he would have done it by now. He would have done it. I think he knows that he's beaten. You're welcome, a mountain biker. Hazelnut Mix, have to go now. Saw you at Vegan Campout, wandering around amongst the crowd, so chummy with everyone. And I don't know how to pronounce that, but thank you, Hazel. You seem very lovely, and I hope you will join us again soon. Have a lovely day. Crypto Colors Tech, you're doing really good not eating meat. You're on the right track for sure. Thanks, bro. Appreciate you saying that. Living till 200 plus would be a proper slog. That made me laugh when I read that. Nice, Alex. Okay, guys, I really better get to the gym. So hop on my bike, get to the gym, do a little yoga for a warm-up. And bis and tris today. I'm going to thrash those. I'm going to really make them grow. And and then a bit of lunch and think about making a video. So thanks for hanging out. Thanks, moderators, for keeping us troll-free. Thanks for the super chats, keeping the beans on my toast, the walls from the door, and the cameras rolling. We'll be back. Oh, so we're doing a cook along live stream. Where did I promote that? If you guys, if you've not already, join my Hench Herbivore community on Facebook, and we posted the recipe Friday night, 7 p.m. GMT. We're doing the feijoada out of our new Speedy Vegan cookbook. So if you want to join along with that, we're doing a normal chat in the stream as well, but we're doing a cook along if you want to get involved. So yeah, Hench Herbivore community over on Facebook. Go and join there and you have access to the recipe so you can get your ingredients in. Speaking of Speedy Vegan, it's available to pre-order now. It's nearly done. So link below, 10% off if you pre-order. And if you want to optimize your health, your looks, your performance as a vegan, then download our free nutrition guide, completely free. It's a complete overview, everything you need to know in order to build muscle, burn fat, get all your nutrients, hopefully, you know, be a lot less likely to get disease, or possibly treat or even potentially reverse disease if you already have them. How to get all your nutrients, it's all in there, completely free. That's a complete overview. And then if you wanted a real deep dive and really learn all of the things to really optimize absolutely everything, we've got our online nutrition course. Our 3 cookbooks will be in that. So currently you'll get the 2 cookbooks, and then you'll get the 3rd cookbook when it goes live next month. 14 videos, loads of downloadable, printable PDFs, including a complete nutrition chart for all ages, stages of life, so you can be sure that the whole family's thriving. And talking about our other 2 cookbooks, they are 30% off at the minute, just $6.99 if you wanted some healthy recipes. So links below for all that if you want to check them out. Have a lovely rest of your day. Hope to see you Friday night, 7 p.m. GMT. But if I don't, have a lovely weekend. Thanks for hanging out, and I'll see you all soon. Bye for now. Have a lovely day, guys.